Alright everyone, it's time to get serious and talk about Dolores' gift from the new Disney movie Encanto. We're going to break down the physics behind her gift and see if her hearing is actually as good as she claims in the movie. For those of you who haven't seen Encanto yet, the movie follows members of the Madrigal family, who, with the exception of the main character Mirabel, all possess a magical ability or gift. During the movie, we learn about Mirabel's cousin Dolores, who can hear the chorus of the introductory song from a mile away. You can hear a pin drop, the twitching of her cousin's eye, the details of a forthcoming proposal, and her uncle Bruno, who, well, we won't talk about Bruno. So the question I'll try to answer today is whether or not it's possible for someone to hear some sounds from a mile away. To check this out, we need to understand something called the inverse square law, which is basically that the intensity of a sound is proportional to the inverse of the distance of that sound from its source squared. So let's imagine we have some music, in this case a chorus that's being sung, and it's being heard at some distance by someone gifted with extraordinary hearing. As the music travels, the initial energy of the chorus gets spread over a greater and greater and greater area. When this happens, the intensity of a sound decreases the further away you get from the source. Now, you can measure the intensity of the sound at these different distances from the source, and the intensity will follow the inverse square law. Ultimately, we want to figure out the reduction in the intensity as the energy gets spread over a greater area that's 1 mile away. And then we want to see if the chorus would require superhuman hearing to be heard at that distance. So to get us started, we measured the noise from the chorus at 1 meter away at a level of 0.001 watts per meter squared. Using the inverse square law, we can calculate the intensity of a sound at that same 1 meter distance and convert it into decibels. The equation I used for this calculation is below. So the chorus is coming in at a blaringly loud 90 dBIL intensity level from 3 feet away from Mirabel and the locals who are jamming out. We can perform the same calculations at 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, and so on to see how much the sound decreases as you travel further and further away from the source. There's an interesting pattern that arises when you do this. You can start to notice that when you double your distance away from the source, the sound level gets reduced by approximately 6 dB. This happens each time you double the distance from the source. So in theory, we could count how many doublings we would need to get from 1 meter away to 1,609 meters away, or 1 mile, and subtract 6 dB from our starting level of 90 for each double distance, and we could get a really close estimate of what the sound level should be. But why estimate when you can use math? From 1 mile away, using the inverse square law and referencing our measurement made at 1 meter away, we can find out that the 90 dBIL chorus at 1 mile away is still almost 26 dBIL. So the question is, does Dolores need supersonic hearing to hear a sound that's 26 dB? She'll definitely hear it, but the answer is no, she doesn't need supersonic hearing. It would be quiet for most people with normal hearing, but most speech and music frequencies would still be audible at 26 dBIL even without a magical gift. But wait, we did make some serious assumptions when we used the inverse square law, and we definitely didn't take into account everything. For example, the inverse square law only holds in a free and unbounded medium, meaning that there are no obstacles to absorb or reflect the sound. In reality, the sound from Mirabel's song would encounter the walls of buildings, trees, and other obstacles, which might reduce the level of the sound to a point that would prove once and for all that Dolores has ears to envy. That being said, at her introduction in the song, it looks like Dolores is up on a high mountain and there's a pretty straight shot between her and the location where the chorus is being sung, so the inverse square law might hold. So what do you think? Is Dolores' gift legit, or is her hearing ability exaggerated? I'm still undecided after this analysis, so I'll have to dive deeper into the physics and acoustics behind pins dropping, gossip behind closed doors, and maybe, just maybe, we'll need to talk about Bruno. Thanks for watching this video, and please like and subscribe to view more content and follow the investigation into the physics behind Dolores' gift.